If you're over 60, chances are you've made some changes to the way you eat and drink. Maybe you've swapped soda for water. Maybe you've started watching your salt and sugar. And maybe, like millions of others, you've added herbal teas to your daily routine, something gentle, natural, and calming. You might drink them to help you sleep better, soothe your digestion, or even support your blood pressure. And honestly, that makes sense. Herbal teas sound harmless. They're sold in health stores, the labels are full of words like calm, cleanse, and support. So, it's easy to assume they're safe. So in this video, we're going to talk about 5 common herbal teas that older adults should be especially careful with. These teas aren't bad on their own, but once you mix in age, medications, and health conditions, the picture changes. We'll go through them one by one, and I'll explain what they do, how they interact with your body, and what to avoid. Before we dive in, I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Drop your city or state in the comments below. I always love seeing how far our community is reaching. Point 1. Hibiscus tea. You've probably seen it in the grocery store. It has a deep red color and is often labeled as heart-healthy or good for blood pressure. A lot of folks over 60 start drinking it because they want something natural to help manage their numbers. And yes, hibiscus does have the ability to lower blood pressure. But here's the thing, that's exactly why it can be dangerous, especially if you're already taking medication for blood pressure or heart issues. If you're on common medications like lisinopril, amlodipine, or metoprolol, all of which many seniors take, adding hibiscus tea on top of that can make your blood pressure drop too low. And that's not just uncomfortable. It can be serious. Low blood pressure in older adults can lead to dizziness, fainting, blurry vision, confusion, and falls, all of which carry big risks. In some cases, it can even cause your potassium levels to drop, which affects your heartbeat and overall energy. What's tricky is that hibiscus tea is often seen as safe because it's natural. But once we get older, natural doesn't always mean safe. Our bodies don't clear things out as quickly. And medications already put strain on the kidneys and liver. Adding hibiscus tea to the mix may feel like a small decision, but for someone over 60, it could push your body into a place it's not ready to handle. That's why it's so important to look at the full picture. If you're drinking hibiscus tea and you're also on blood pressure meds, it's not something to ignore. You don't need to panic or stop everything cold turkey, but it's worth having a quick chat with your doctor or pharmacist. Ask them if it's okay to keep drinking it, and how often. Sometimes they'll say it's fine, just not daily. Other times, they'll recommend skipping it completely. The bottom line is, hibiscus tea is strong. It does affect your blood pressure. And once you're over 60, even small changes can have a big impact. So stay informed, and don't be afraid to ask. Point 2. Chamomile tea. Chamomile tea is one of the most popular teas out there, especially among seniors. It's known for being calming. Many people drink it before bed to help them relax or fall asleep. Others use it to ease digestion or just enjoy the gentle taste. It's been trusted for generations. But here's what most people don't know, especially if you're over 60 and taking blood thinners: chamomile might not be as harmless as it seems. Chamomile contains natural compounds that can thin your blood. On its own, that might not sound like a big deal. But if you're already on blood thinners, medications like warfarin, Eliquis, Xarelto, or even just a daily low-dose aspirin, then adding chamomile can actually make your blood too thin. And that's when problems start. You might begin to bruise more easily. You could notice small cuts taking longer to stop bleeding. Some people experience nosebleeds or bleeding gums. In more serious cases, it can even lead to internal bleeding, like in the stomach or even in the brain. These aren't just mild side effects. They can be life-threatening, especially for older adults whose bodies don't bounce back as quickly. The tricky part is, chamomile feels so safe and familiar. It's sold everywhere, in drugstores, supermarkets, even gift shops. And because it's labeled as natural, people don't always think to mention it to their doctor. But when you're already managing your health with prescription medications, even a small thing like a cup of chamomile tea each night can shift your blood chemistry in ways you don't expect. So what should you do? You don't need to be afraid of chamomile tea, but you do need to be smart about it. If you're on any blood thinners, talk to your doctor before making chamomile a regular habit. They may give you the green light, or they might ask you to avoid it altogether, especially if your blood levels are already being monitored closely. Point 3. Licorice root tea. Licorice root tea might sound like something sweet and harmless, and that's exactly why so many people over 60 don't realize how risky it can be. It's often used in teas labeled for digestion, stress relief, or even respiratory health. Sometimes it's part of a blend, and you may not even notice it's in there. But once you're on medications for your heart, blood pressure, or water retention, licorice root can quietly cause real trouble. The main problem is a compound found in licorice root called glycyrrhizin. This chemical affects your kidneys in a way that makes your body hold on to salt and flush out potassium. Why does that matter? Because salt raises your blood pressure, and potassium is what helps your heart muscles work properly. When these two get out of balance, especially if you're already taking medications like beta blockers, ACE inhibitors, or diuretics, things can go downhill fast. Your blood pressure might shoot up, even if it's normally under control. You might start feeling chest tightness, headaches, or dizziness. Some people even experience a racing heartbeat or a fluttering sensation in their chest. And the scary part? It doesn't take a lot of licorice root to do this. Just 1 or 2 cups a day, over a few weeks, can build up and start changing how your body functions. This is especially risky for older adults. As we age, our kidneys and liver don't process things as quickly, which means effects from licorice root can last longer in your system. Plus, if you're already on medications that affect blood pressure or electrolytes, you might not realize that licorice root is doubling up those effects behind the scenes. One more thing to watch out for: licorice root is often listed under names like natural sweetener, digestive blend, or stress support. It's not always clearly labeled, so it's worth checking the ingredient list on any tea you buy, even if it seems mild or healthy. If you've been drinking a tea that has licorice root in it and you're on blood pressure medication or a diuretic, talk to your doctor. They may advise you to stop, or at least limit how often you drink it. The important thing is knowing what you're putting into your body, and making sure it's not working against the medications that are helping you. Point 4. Peppermint tea. Peppermint tea is one of those things that sounds like it could never cause harm. It's refreshing, smells pleasant, and many people drink it to help settle the stomach after meals. If you're over 60 and dealing with bloating or indigestion, you might already have a box of it sitting in your kitchen cabinet. But what you may not know is that peppermint can quietly trigger or worsen acid reflux, and for older adults, that can turn into something much more serious over time. Let's break it down. Peppermint contains menthol, which relaxes the muscles in your digestive tract. Now at first, that might sound like a good thing, especially if your stomach feels tight or gassy. But here's the problem: it also relaxes a key muscle called the lower esophageal sphincter. This muscle acts like a valve between your stomach and your throat. When it's working right, it keeps stomach acid where it belongs, down in your stomach. But when it relaxes too much, that acid can slip back up and burn the lining of your esophagus. If you've ever felt heartburn, that burning in your chest after eating, or a sour taste in your mouth while lying down, that's likely reflux. And as we age, the valve that protects us from this naturally weakens. So when you add peppermint tea on top of that, the floodgates open. Suddenly, you might find yourself dealing with chronic heartburn, coughing at night, or even difficulty swallowing. And over time, repeated acid exposure can damage your throat lining, sometimes severely. Now, add medications into the mix. If you're taking aspirin, blood thinners, or anti-inflammatory meds for your heart or joints, your stomach lining may already be more sensitive. When peppermint tea causes more acid to rise, and those medications are in your system, the risk of irritation or even bleeding goes up. This could mean ulcers in the throat or stomach, which are painful and difficult to treat, especially in older adults. So what's the takeaway? Peppermint tea might not be the best choice if you have acid reflux, GERD, or are on medications that affect your stomach. There are other gentle options out there like lemon balm or weak ginger tea that can help with digestion without increasing acid. If you're already dealing with nighttime coughing, burning sensations, or that sour taste after meals, it might be time to skip the peppermint. It's not about giving up everything you enjoy, it's about making small changes that protect your health in the long run. Point 5. Dandelion tea. Dandelion tea has become pretty popular lately. You'll see it in detox teas, weight loss programs, or in products that say they support kidney or liver health. It's made from the same yellow-flowered plant that grows in the yard, and a lot of people think, well, if it's natural and has been around forever, it must be safe. But once again, things change after 60. And for older adults, especially those on heart or blood pressure medications, dandelion tea can quietly lead to serious problems. Here's why: dandelion is a natural diuretic. That means it helps your body get rid of excess water and salt, just like many prescription medications do. In fact, if you're taking something like furosemide, Lasix, or hydrochlorothiazide, your doctor may have prescribed it to help with swelling, high blood pressure, or heart failure. These meds are carefully dosed to make sure your body doesn't lose too many important minerals too quickly, especially potassium. Now, if you add dandelion tea to that routine, you're doubling the diuretic effect without meaning to. Your body might start flushing out fluid faster than it should. And more importantly, it can also start draining out too much potassium. Potassium is critical for your muscles, your heartbeat, and your energy levels. When it drops too low, you can feel weak, dizzy, confused, or start having muscle cramps. In some cases, it can even lead to irregular heartbeats or kidney issues, and these are things you don't want to ignore, especially as you age. What makes dandelion tea tricky is that it doesn't feel strong. It doesn't have a bitter taste or any harsh side effects right away. It just seems like a light herbal drink. But over time, it works quietly, and before you know it, you're getting up more at night to urinate, feeling tired in the afternoon, or experiencing strange symptoms you can't quite explain. That's how easy it is to miss the early signs. So if you're already taking any type of water pill or medication that affects your fluid levels, it's best to avoid dandelion tea unless your doctor gives you a clear thumbs up. And always check the ingredient list. Dandelion often shows up in blends labeled detox, liver support, or even bedtime tea, so it's not always obvious. Bottom line, just because something is natural doesn't mean it's safe for everybody, especially one that's been through 60+ years of life. Your health is valuable, and even small things like a cup of tea should be chosen with care. At this stage in life, you've seen enough to know that not everything labeled natural is automatically good for you. You've likely worked hard to take better care of your health, eating lighter, moving more, managing your medications, and doing what you can to feel your best each day. So it makes sense that herbal teas might seem like a gentle addition. Something small. Something safe. But as we've seen today, even a simple cup of tea can carry hidden risks when you're over 60 and on medications. Your body processes things differently now. Your kidneys don't filter as quickly. Your liver doesn't break things down as easily. And your medications, whether for blood pressure, your heart, digestion, or blood thinning, can interact in ways that even a well-meaning tea label won't warn you about. That's why it's not just about what a tea is supposed to help with, it's about what it might do when combined with your unique health needs. We talked about 5 teas today: hibiscus, chamomile, licorice root, peppermint, and dandelion. All of them have a reputation for being helpful in some way. But once you factor in age, medication, and the way your body changes over time, those same teas can quietly push your system out of balance. And for some people, that has led to emergency room visits, internal bleeding, or dangerously low potassium, all from something as small as a daily cup of tea. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to equip you. When you have the right information, you can make better choices. So here's what I'd encourage you to do: take a few minutes today to go through your tea cabinet. Read the labels. Look out for those 5 ingredients, especially in blends labeled for sleep, digestion, or detox. If you see them, don't panic. Just write them down and ask your doctor or pharmacist about them next time you go in. That one step could make a big difference. And if this video helped you, please share it with a friend, maybe someone who also loves tea and takes medication. You never know who might need this information right now. Stay smart, stay safe, and most of all, keep asking questions. Your health matters. And you deserve to enjoy the little things, like a warm cup of tea, without worry.